Hey, welcome back to another video that I didn't think I'd be making as soon as I am. It hasn't really been all that long since I put out my video on official Toku releases, and I figured at some point I was probably going to have to make an update video because things are always changing and you never know what's going to get a surprise release, but I was not expecting to make an update as soon as I actually have to. When I made the video initially, I'd covered just about every big release or at least notable official release that had been around, so I figured that I'd be, good on it for a little while. But now, the last couple of weeks pretty much have been a little bit insane. Mostly the last, I'd say, about week. First, we had the unintentional leak of Kamen Rider showing up on the Tubi TV streaming service that quickly got pulled and some damage control had to be done. But that officially released this past Monday, along with an entire channel on Pluto TV called TokuSHOUTsu, which is basically a TV channel on Pluto, which if you're not aware what Pluto TV is, it's a free, ad-based sort of alternative to live TV with a lot of genre-specific, or in some cases property-specific channels. And TokuSHOUTsu is a channel that entirely hosts Shout Factory's Tokusatsu releases, which for a while was basically just Sentai and Ultraman Taro, I believe? And now, or Ultraman Leo, rather. But now includes the original 1971 Kamen Rider. The fact that Kamen Rider is available here in the States, at least the original, and it is worth mentioning that, yeah, it is US exclusive, but there's methods you can use if you're outside of the US to watch it. The fact that that is available is a really, really big deal, because unlike Kamen Rider has always been harder to market here in the US than Sentai, because unlike Sentai, which has that in through Power Rangers, Kamen Rider doesn't really have that. You've got Masked Rider and you have Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, but those are not the big phenomenons that Power Rangers was. So you can't really go, hey, watch this, because it's like Masked Rider or Kamen Rider Dragon Knight. And even less so the original Showa, because I feel like there's a lot, people have a lot less patience for older shows, especially ones from 1971 that are very episodic. So taking a gamble like that, even if it is on a free streaming service that people don't have to pay money for, and they don't really have to worry about manufacturing costs for physical discs, still I feel like it's a pretty big leap to market that show. And that they did it is a huge deal. So if you live in the US and you're interested, please, for the love of God, go on Tubi TV or on, I think it's probably on Shout Factory's website or Verve or Pluto, and check out their release of Kamen Rider, because honestly, it's really damn good. It uses the Blu-ray RAWs, which even Shout Sentai releases weren't doing. Granted, it was mostly older Sentai that don't have Blu-rays, but still. And the subs are done by some wonderful people in the community who have not made themselves known, and if they don't want to, let them make that decision. But from what I've seen and what I've heard from people who are more proficient in Japanese than I am, the subs are really, really damn good. So this release of Kamen Rider is amazing. TokuSHOUTsu is just in general pretty cool as a tokusatsu-focused channel. It's really weird to see tokusatsu playing on my TV that isn't through like Plex or something, but it's amazing at the same time. So go check that out if you are interested in some older Toku, including Shout Sentai releases. And then the other one that happened literally not even half an hour ago, it just got announced as I was, like right before I sat down to record this. It is the reason I sat down to record this. Toei is launching a global tokusatsu YouTube channel. Now, Toei already has their own Japanese exclusive YouTube channel where they upload episodes of shows. If you use other services, you can find like Kamen Rider shows like Hibiki, and I think probably most Heisei shows are on there or being uploaded, and some Sentai and some other obscure stuff they have. But now they are bringing that over to the States, and presumably it'll be in other countries as well. They don't really specify. They say worldwide, but they also say that some restrictions might apply based on the areas you're in. So where exactly it'll all be available is currently up in the air. What we're looking at here basically is Toei launching 70, count them 70, big Toku series, or minor Toku series actually, because some of them are super freaking obscure, on their YouTube channel for free to watch, and the first 2 episodes will be subbed right off the bat. It's worth mentioning that past that, they won't be automatically subbed, but they do mention that they'll be doing a call for subs of all languages. Presumably there will be some sort of quality control process to make sure that random people aren't just throwing out garbage subs onto videos. The potential of 70 whole Toku series from the 60s to the 90s is pretty amazing. Now, at the time I record this, we don't know the full list of shows. They haven't given us all 70 of them, which I think is good. I want to know exactly what's going to be on there when it releases. But we do have a partial list of some of them. just to go over some of the big ones and some of the notable obscure ones, by which like stuff that I've never even heard of. For some of the bigger stuff, we've got the original Go Ranger, which is the very beginning of Super Sentai, as well as its follow-up Jaka, Uchu Keiji Gavan, which I brought up in my Where to Start video about Metal Heroes. Gavan is amazing and bizarre. Also, Jaspion, which I mentioned as part of the official releases, is going to be available on there. Presumably, it'll be the Mega Beast Empire subs that were used for the Blu-ray as well. Hopefully, that'll also have the Blu-ray RAWs. And like I said, we don't know the full list, so we don't know exactly everything that's going to be on there, but we do have at least one Kamen Rider show, Kamen Rider Shin, which is a movie from the mid-90s. And those are just what I would say are the big releases. There's a lot of really obscure stuff, like Captain Ultra, Changerion, which is I've heard of, but I don't really know anything about, and National Kid, which this is the first time I've ever heard of it. So they've got a lot lined up for this. On the press, like on the release image, you can see other shows in the background. So I don't know if all of these are going to be on there, or if these are just examples, but if these are all things that are going to be on there, then we're in for some major releases, and this is, I think, aiming to change a lot about how people consume Toku now. Granted, like I said, that does come with the caveat of only the first 2 episodes right off the bat will be subbed in English, and presumably from that point they'll be relying on fans to do it, so hopefully we'll end up getting good subs out of it. The other worry that I have that I feel like we probably don't have to worry about is about raw quality. We don't know if they'll be using DVDs or Blu-rays for what's available or what. Presumably I'd imagine they'd be getting pretty good RAWs, but it's Toei, they're weird sometimes. But either way, I feel like this is a pretty big step up because they've got big name stuff and obscure bullshit nobody's ever heard of. Or at least most people that aren't really deep into Toku have heard of. It's wild, and honestly, them doing something like this is pretty amazing, even if it doesn't end up getting immediately subbed or the subs are kind of questionable. I imagine we'll still get pretty good stuff overall. So yeah, that'll start dropping on April 6th. The first 2 episodes of all 70 shows will be available starting on April 6th, and from then they have a release schedule, which I'll put on screen right now, and it'll go on and so forth. I'd imagine it'll change, like they'll add more to that schedule once the full thing launches, just because they don't want to spoil the whole thing, and I think they would want to keep regularly updating shows. That's been what's happened in about the course of 2 weeks. Toku just got a big drop outside of Japan, and it's pretty amazing. Sorry if this video is a little rushed. I did literally just sit down to record it very quickly. I didn't really have any notes because I feel like this is not a thing that needed a whole lot of notes. Just needed me really to go, hey, this is a thing now, and you should pay attention to it. Because, hey, this is a thing now, and you should pay attention to it. So, if you're looking forward to some weird, just obscure stuff, or some Toku that you haven't been able to see before just because of weird availability, this is going to be the way to go, probably. Yeah, that's all for now, and I will see you guys next time.